You know, I miss so much about University of Michigan because I had a great experience there. I mean, the things that I learned in my 4 years at the University of Michigan go far beyond the football field. I had a great mentor and the legendary Bo Schembechler. And not many players can say they actually played for a living legend like I did. And he taught us lessons that went far, far beyond the football field. They were hard lessons, they were tough lessons, but they were necessary. They were, to me, a continuation from the lessons I learned from my parents. So it was pretty consistent. And I don't know if you're familiar with the term tough love, but that's the way I would describe it. You're looking at, my parents, they were firm, but they were fair. I look at Coach Schembechler as being very firm, very stern, but being very fair. And with the lessons I learned at the University of Michigan under Bo Schembechler, which were carried on with Coach Gary Moeller, those life lessons made me into the Michigan man that I am today. Being a Michigan man, first and foremost, means doing things a particular way. When I was in the NFL, I heard several GMs comment that when they went into the draft and they saw guys on the board from Michigan, if they got that player, they knew what type of player they were going to get because this player played under Bo Schembechler, or this player played under Gary Moeller, or he played under Lloyd Carr. So they knew what type of mentality, what type of toughness, what type of work ethic they were getting. In my opinion, it means doing things a certain way, the right way, showing character, commitment, dedication, and all that boils down, in my opinion, to being a Michigan man. Well, I think that the team under Brady Hoke is getting back to Michigan tradition, and I think his mentality, too, is what we need. He understands Michigan tradition. He understands the Michigan culture, and he understands the culture in the Big Ten. I mean, half of it is knowing who you got to play against, and you got to prepare for those guys. So I think that with him and Coach Greg Madison, who's also very familiar with the Big Ten, he's very familiar with Michigan, he used to coach at Michigan. Now we're getting back to the Michigan tradition, the Michigan culture, and I think you'll see a different product on the field soon. I see a big difference between the way college athletes are now as opposed to when I was a college athlete. So I think first and foremost, they're better equipped for competition. You have better facilities, everything is better, and everything is geared and directed towards a better performance for the athlete. So I think that, even to the point where you may be able to download games on your laptop. So now you can watch film anywhere you want. When I was at Michigan, if we weren't at the football building, you couldn't watch film. So that was the only place we could actually watch film of our opponent. Now these guys, if you have a laptop, if you have an iPad, you probably can go watch, film on the bus. You can watch it on the plane. You can watch it on your way to Schembechler Hall. So I mean, to me, it's just they have access to anything and everything that they need to be successful, where we didn't have access to half of the stuff that they have access to now. The iWar 2021 book definitely chronicles my career at the University of Michigan. It talks about my childhood somewhat to give people an idea of the sacrifices that I made, the commitments that I made before I got to University of Michigan, just to give them a glimpse of my character. And I think the beauty of the book is that there are stories and quotes from people who knew me before I went to Michigan. And what surprised me is when I heard how some people viewed me, even at a young age. Because as a youngster, you don't see the things in you that obviously adults may see in you. Because, as a child, you think as a child. So it's really just mind-blowing to see like how some of my former coaches, whether it was Pee Wee football or even at St. Joe's, viewed me and my talents, well before I accomplished what I accomplished at the University of Michigan. And it's a tremendous honor. It's very, very humbling to hear those words and to see. But these people, they were very special in my life, and that's why I'm glad that they took the time to be a part of the book. First of all, it makes me feel revived to get back to Ann Arbor. It like recharges my battery. I love going back to Ann Arbor. So I don't care what's going on. If I take a trip to Ann Arbor, it's like all is well in the world. it re-energizes me. It really does. And so, with that being said, I love going back. I love the campus. I spent 4 of the greatest years of my life up there. And with my job now with ESPN, I go and I cover spring ball, check them out in practice, and I'll check them out during the spring game and things of that nature. So I get a chance to meet the players and talk to players, and like I said, talk to Coach Brady Hoke and his new staff. So that's pretty much how I stay connected to Michigan. You know, I think that if you observed me and you watch my facial expressions, probably the 2 times that I light up the most is when talking about my kids and talking about the University of Michigan.